Ladies and gentlemen, now hosting the RizzoCast, put your hands together for Steven Risotto!
What is happening, everybody, and welcome. This is episode number 77 of RizzoCast. I'm Steven Risotto, and today, I should mention Jasper Lindsay, my co-host, is on assignment. We are joined today by Gavin Weir again, superstar for the South Dakota Little League team in this year's Little League World Series tournament. Super excited to have him on. Gavin, what's going on with you, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Just got back home last night. A little tired, but feeling good.
Feeling good. How about you, Dad? What's up with you?
Oh, just same thing, kind of recovering and just, from emotional highs. That's been 3 weeks worth. So, you get home and kind of hit reality. And so Gavin had to go to school today and back to school. So, just missing it all already. So it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, let's talk about school real quick. I know you went back today, as you just mentioned. What was kind of the reaction from all your classmates? Was it, did they, obviously, I'm sure they knew what was going on a little bit. How was the reception that you got at school?
They were just happy for me and happy to see me back. It was fun and cool to see them. Just seeing old friends that I haven't seen in a while is fun.
Yeah, and Sioux Falls has to be thrilled with the way that they were represented during this Little League World Series. Have they done anything yet? I know you said that you just got back last night. Have they done anything? Are they planning anything to kind of honor your Little League team?
I think we're having a welcome back party on tomorrow, at the Pentagon.
Awesome. Going to be a lot of people there?
Probably.
Yeah, it'll be open to the public, and so quite a big. It's a big arena out here, our big arena, and so a big celebration for the kids tomorrow, and it's going to be a neat thing. And we've gotten invited to our local Canaries game this weekend, and the Twins game next week, and so they'll all get to kind of do a lot of fun stuff too, for the Midwest here.
That's fantastic, as they should. Gavin, you put up video game numbers. I mean, I was looking at it, and I think I got this right. There's some conflicting numbers out there, but they're all great. The one that I saw was 43 and 2/3 innings during the Little League World Series and the rounds leading up to it. Over 600 pitches, and you allowed just one hit. So that's for the people that have not kept up with it. Have you had some time to kind of reflect on what just happened, what you did, and what your team did?
Yeah, a little bit. When we were leaving Williamsport, I realized what we did and how we made a difference.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, you made a difference. Dad, did you have time to reflect on anything that just happened?
Yeah, we drove back, so it was a 19-hour car ride for me. So they got to fly back, and we drove, and just pretty special. Gavins and his teammates are just a special group of boys and families who are very humble and generous and kind kids, but who love the game. And Gavin's always loved the game since he was really little, and started throwing when he was 3 and 4 years old. So he's got two, an older brother and a younger brother. His older brother Drew, who's a couple years older than him, that he plays with in travel ball in the summer as well, and has really helped him a lot. And so we're super thankful. The experience of being there, and the intensity and the emotions that go into every game. And when he's pitching, usually I'm coaching him, so not coaching and being on the sideline as a normal parent was a whole different world for me. And it was very stressful at times too, but it was awesome. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can imagine. And Gavin, I know I watched some interviews that you did prior to this to prepare. You're a humble kid, and you've talked about your teammates throughout the entire experience and the work that they've put in. What can you say about playing and hanging out with that group of players all summer? So go ahead. I'll give you the time to hype your teammates up a little bit.
It's been one of the best parts of my life, just hanging out with the teammates and going to Williamsport, and them supporting me and on the mound and anywhere else. They're great people on and off the field. They're just great hearts, and they're fun to hang around, and and their defense is just amazing, and it couldn't be better.
Yeah, and I know that before we came on the air, you and your dad mentioned how you wish it would have ended a little bit better. And I know everybody hates losing, of course, especially at that age and in front of thousands of people watching on television. Losing the championship game against Nebraska, does that still sting a little bit, or are you kind of already looking past it?
In the regionals?
I'm looking past it a little bit because we went farther than them, and I know we're a better
sorry,
team.
who'd you lose to?
The Nebraska was in the regional. So in the regional, we lost to Nebraska, and then they came and represented the Midwest really well too. They won a couple games at the World Series, first time in Nebraska's history as well. And so that was neat. And then we ended up losing to Ohio on Saturday, and then Hawaii on Sunday. But still a really great experience. We were right in both those games. The boys, a couple of hits here, a couple things fall our way. You know how it goes, and that's just the fun part of baseball. That's why you play the game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Gavin, South Dakota has not produced, many big league baseball players in their history. How did you kind of get involved with baseball, and when did you kind of know that it would be a passion for you at a young age?
My dad helped me with baseball. He was the first one that taught me how to play baseball and taught me everything I know about baseball. I probably knew probably when I was like 5 or 6. It was just really fun to play, and it was so enjoyable and just amazing.
Loved watching it, loved playing it at a young age. So we watched. Twins are, our closest team, and so we love the Twins. We followed the Rockies a little bit, but he follows a lot of the teams and a lot of the players, and he just, he fell in love with studying the game and understanding the game at a young enough age, and we could just continue to work. And him and I would work even in the winter out here. If it was warm enough, we'd go outside and throw, and just like his older brother, who was very talented as well, and just kind of a fun thing and a great relationship to have. My dad coached I have a twin brother. He coached us as we were growing up and Little League and all that. So this was always a dream of ours to eventually get there. And it's fun to kind of coach my boys and live that out with them. So super neat experience doing that.
And you guys get snow up there, right?
Yeah, we get quite a bit.
Oh, man, yeah. In California, I mean, there's really one type of, I guess there's two. The first type of weather is just no rain, anything but no rain, because we're always in a drought. And the second one is what's happening right now, fires. So, yeah, it's definitely interesting for sure. Another thing I want to ask is, I know, Gavin, you mentioned that you played a few different sports, basketball, golf, and, I'm a huge advocate. I mentioned before we went on the air that getting young people to play as many sports as they possibly can when they're younger is super important. And, do you kind of feel like playing those two sports have helped your baseball skills a little bit?
Probably. Just doing other sports and doing different things have probably just helped me like do different things in baseball and learn how to stretch more, or just like hand-eye coordination and other things, and just like maybe with basketball, maybe just helps my hands or my feet or to run more or run faster.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know that you have an older brother that you played with and you've grown up playing against. Has he kind of helped you? Is it good competition? What's it like kind of playing with him?
It's fun. He's definitely better than me, but it's fun to play with him and good competition. I learned from him, and I've learned a lot of stuff from him, and mostly my dad.
Yeah, Ronnie, are they competitive with each other?
Oh yeah, just like typical brothers. I have a twin brother, so we grew up playing with each other and of course competing with each other, and so they kind of have that same bond in a way, even though they're a couple years apart. It's been, super good for Gavin, obviously, to play with an older brother and learn from him and watch him and play with him and support each other that way has been super cool. So we're very blessed to be able to do that. And then he has a younger brother who's a 10, just kind of getting going. So who knows, maybe a couple years down the road we can be back in Williamsport. But it's super hard to get there, and we're just thankful that we got the opportunity to do it. So as a family.
Oh, so we gotta watch out for the future then. Future brother coming up through the system. So Gavin, who are you more likely, or I guess I should ask this, who is more likely to go yard off of you, your brother or your dad? I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Brother.
Brother. What do you think about that, Dad?
That's probably true now. I'm getting a little older, so but his brother's a pretty talented player too. So, but neither one of us would probably want to face Gavin in the box, especially at 46 feet. So,
Yeah, 46 feet. Yeah, so close. Looking back at it now.
I know it. Yeah, and he's
Yeah,
used to pitching at 60 feet too. So, because that's what he plays in the travel ball. So, he's got 5 pitches, so which is really cool. So one of his best pitches is a sinker, and he can't really throw it in Little League because it's too short, because it doesn't have time to break, because it's a hard breaking pitch and a hard pitch. And so it's fun to watch him do that at the further distances with the older kids and really compete. And I think that's really helped him compete at this level and play like this, as well as, like he said, tremendous teammates. I mean, his defense behind him he can trust, and the kids were just awesome. All the whole group of 14 kids were fantastic kids and just good baseball players. So that certainly makes all the difference in the world to go out there and compete like he did.
yeah, and kind of coming back to this summer, Gavin, when did you know that this team is really good and you guys could make a really deep run at a possible title? Did you kind of exceed your expectations, or did you know all along that you guys were going to be pretty good?
I knew we were gonna be pretty good, but I didn't know at the start that we were actually gonna make it to Williamsport. We started playing really well in state, and then it just carried on to regionals and Williamsport, and we did very well.
Yeah, and knowing that there's TV cameras, see that's something that I would be such aware of. Knowing that there's TV cameras in Williamsport, knowing that you're playing in front of thousands of people, does that carry some extra adrenaline, or did it kind of feel like normal? I'm sure it didn't feel normal, but what did it feel like playing in front of some cameras?
It definitely carried more adrenaline. I just wanted to play better for everybody out there, and just focus and not worry about making mistakes or anything. I'm not worrying about what other people think.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good way to definitely a good way to think about it. And Dad, what was it like for you hanging out in the stands and kind of watching the boys go at it?
It was super cool. I mean, just to watch them in that level and on those fields and on TV, we rewatched every game. We haven't watched the last one here, but screaming and cheering. I still don't have a voice from screaming the last couple weeks, but just try to be loud for them, support them, and encourage them, and build them up. And I'm a coach, so I'm still learning, watching, and coaching him constantly as well. And it was super cool to just experience that and see it from the stands is totally different than being in the dugout. And to be there with our family and the families of all these kids and just get to know them and make a run at it was super special, and something that all of us, I think, will carry forever with us in our life. So it was a neat experience.
Yeah, and what was the best part, Gavin, about playing on some of those fields that you played at along the way? What did you like most about them?
I'm just playing with my teammates and having a fun time out there. I played on some of the best fields I played on in regionals in Williamsport. It was just really cool to play on them and not worry about anything.
Yeah, and I'm sure you follow a lot of Major League Baseball. I know you follow a lot of Major League Baseball a little bit. What are some of your favorite ballparks from around the league? I know before we got on here, you were talking about you've been to a few. I'm sure you've have a favorite maybe, or maybe one that you want to go to. What's kind of on your list there?
I want to go to the Rocky Stadium.
Coors Field, yeah, beautiful ballpark for sure. Do you have an allegiance to any certain big league team? I know you're close to Minnesota, kind of. Rockies obviously is course field you want to go to. Is there any, like, when you're watching a game, is there any team that you're like wildly rooting for?
The Twins.
Twins, yeah. That's definitely a popular team, and there's a lot of Twins fans that I know. And I saw somewhere that you're a huge fan of Mike Trout too, and I love him too. Clearly a generational talent. What do you like about him so much?
That he's a 5'2" player and he's very humble.
Very humble, yeah. Do you think that the Angels are going to give him a shot to make it to the postseason pretty soon?
I don't think they'll play him this year just so he's full and ready for next season.
Yeah, that's right. He's hurt this year. I mean, I'm sure you're sick of talking about this, or maybe you're not. Maybe it's an honor to hear this, but the pitcher you've drawn the comparisons to the most was Chris Sale. Somebody put up the side angle of Chris Sale and Gavin Weir. Is that a comparison that makes sense to you, or is there somebody else that you might want to, see in the mirror or is there somebody else that you think better resembles you, or do you like the Chris Sale comparison?
I like the Chris Sale comparison. It looks like I throw exactly like him, and he's a good pitcher, and so am I. So I think it's just cool.
I think
Yeah,
especially on the slider pitch, there's a lot of comparison when he throws his slider, and because he throws a little bit sidearm like Chris Sale. So I think that's where they mainly got the comparison, from. So it was neat to see.
Was that a good comparison, Ronnie? I mean, you've seen him obviously pitch all of his life. Was that somebody that, I guess, looking at it, was that somebody that you saw that might compare to Gavin?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't ever trying to build off of anyone else.
Yeah.
I just try to teach him his style and his fundamentals and throw like Gavin throws, and try to not be anyone else. It's one thing we try to teach in our program in our household and with these kids. And although they love these major leaguers, and to be compared to any one of them is an honor. And but definitely seeing the slider and the way they throw side by side, it's crazy how identical it is throwing that pitch. So that was neat, and Shohei, he's obviously a two-way player, so Gavin loves that as well, and he's been compared to that too, because he can do both sides very well. So that's kind of a cool comparison too.
Yeah, let's talk pitching for a second. I know if we're talking keys on the mound, what have you kind of identified, Gavin, as one of your keys to pitching? What is your top priority on your to-do list on the mound? What is it for you?
I usually just probably locate and get on top of my pitches.
Yeah, it's super important when it comes to pitching. What is next for you, man? I mean, is it right back to fall ball? I know we talked about this off the air, but let's give the people kind of Gavin Weir future plans. Is it right back in the fall ball, maybe a rest? How do you go about taking a breather but also still getting some work in?
Rest, but then a little fall ball and then a basket.
Yeah, and Dad, how do you kind of go about, making sure he gets the right rest? And obviously we've seen some pitchers go through a lot more in this generation when it comes to arm care, and there's some extra stuff that you need to do. So what has it kind of been for you looking out for him and giving him the rest that he needs every once in a while?
Yeah. And what's funny is even since he was younger, I've had to force him to rest, to not throw. Gavin, you cannot throw today, I mean, he would throw since he was little, and he'd throw every single day if I'd let him. But he's been conditioning his arm for a long time, and we've tried to do it properly and build it over years. I think that's what people don't understand about arm condition, is it takes years to condition your arm and do it properly so that you don't have sore arms, you don't hurt your arm. So, he had an extended baseball this year further, so he'll do a little bit of fall ball, but no throwing, no pitching. So his arm will rest the rest of the year until January. That's when we start back up. And then we do a lot of different training, just basic stuff. I think people forget the basics of how to build an arm, push-ups and pull-ups, rows, fans, long toss. Those are things we do every year. to build that strength and to condition that arm. And then just conditioning it as he starts back up in January, taking 6 weeks to just throw before we start pitching. Stuff like that. I think people forget, really it's not that difficult of a thing. They just don't either understand it or they forget the basics. And so he's done that his whole life for the most part. But he definitely needs a little bit of rest. I won't let him throw for a while, pitching wise anyway, so he can rest that arm and keep the bat working and just get ready for basketball.
So I know when you're left-handed, and when you're left-handed in this sport, there's a very limited amount of places where you can play. So what is it kind of for you, Gavin? Is it first base? Is it the outfield? Where's kind of your preference when it comes to playing when you're not pitching?
Center field, and I play shortstop and travel ball, but I didn't play it in Little League because I'm left-handed, and we had a better shortstop probably than me.
You could probably still play shortstop. I wouldn't doubt it. So obviously you want to play in the big leagues, right?
Yeah.
So here's a question for you, and I've asked a few people this on this show, and I'll ask it to you. If Gavin Weir didn't want to be a baseball player, what would he want to do? So that's a really tough question. I'll give you some time to think about it. What would you want to do if you didn't want to become a baseball player?
Probably be a pro golfer.
There you go. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, a lot of people would say like doctor or something, or like a teacher, but just going back to another sport, perfect. We have some questions here, some submissions before the show, and this one's from Matt in Toledo, and Matt wants to know, what was your favorite meal that you had during the Little League World Series?
What's your favorite things to eat?
My favorite things to eat are probably steak and mashed potatoes.
What you have each night?
I had bacon and mashed potatoes in the morning, and hash browns. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
Making me hungry now. And Dad, I know that you were kind of in the stands for a lot of it. Did they have anything at the ballpark? Where were you stuck eating? And I say stuck eating because I'm sure it wasn't as good as what Gavin ate.
Yeah, at the ball field, we've always loved eating a hot dog or hamburger or whatever at the ball field, and popcorn, just your typical ball field stuff. So it was great. They had pulled pork there, so I know it was really good as well, and so we enjoyed that. But then afterwards, we'd go out and go somewhere. It was a great little restaurant downtown Boom City that kind of hosted our team several nights, and was really nice of them to do what they did, and came to the games with us, and so we really enjoyed eating down there. So they were really good to us.
That's great. And here's another question that someone submitted. I lost the handle on who submitted it on Twitter, but somebody wants to know, what is your favorite movie, Gavin?
I don't watch movies too much, but I like Kevin Hart, so probably like
His stand-up, or
yeah, his movies
maybe
are
it's
great.
some of his stand-up comedies, or like Get Hard or something like that.
Yeah, that's a really good movie. I was not expecting that answer. That's great. Yeah. So finally, if you had to pick one summer, and we're going to wrap this up now, if you had to pick one summer from your life to relive at any point, what year would it be?
This year.
This year. There we go. Gavin Weir, everybody, I appreciate you joining me. Dad, I appreciate you joining us too, bringing in some nice commentary as well. It was definitely an honor to be talking to you, and keep in touch soon, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
You guys could follow us on Twitter, again, at RizzoCast, and also subscribe to Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. And of course, here live on the No Filter Network. Go ahead, subscribe, and download, do whatever you need to do to listen. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.